Hello and welcome to another episode of the Never a Straight Answer podcast, the podcast that aims to cover a wide range of topics from conspiracy theories to popular culture and news. I'm your host Gaz, and it's been a while, but joining me live in the Never a Straight Answer bunker, it's my co-host, Mr. Taylor.
Yeah, good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Welcome.
Welcome one and all.
Thanks for joining us on another epic adventure.
Oh yeah.
And joining us on the only conspiracy podcast that probes back.
Oh yeah.
Hope you guys are all keeping safe and well.
Yeah.
Thanks to all you new listeners as well as repeat offenders. Thanks for joining us again.
Keep repeating.
And you're in for a bit of a treat this week. It's a topic I love this. This week we're going to be looking into one of the UK's biggest unsolved mysteries.
Yeah.
A mystery that's not only baffled ufologists and experts alike.
True there.
But it's even connected to the UK's contribution to the space race.
Oh yeah.
Back in the 1960s, which is obviously the is it the Woomera Blue Streak Incident?
That's right.
Obviously, we're talking about tonight the Solway Firth Spaceman. It's a great topic. Can't wait to get into it.
Yeah.
We'll be doing that. I can't even talk tonight. What is going on? We'll be getting into that pretty swiftly.
Yeah.
But before that, what have you been up to this week?
I've actually been looking into a UFO incident that happened in Brazil, which was actually attack. They actually attacked a little island.
What? So it was an invasion?
Yeah, basically, yeah.
All right, okay.
Yeah.
So is it a good story? Is it worth, having a deep dive into, or?
Well, I'm having a little deep dive myself at the minute. I'm looking around them areas because there's there, Chile, you got even Mexico now, and all them countries around there. It seems to be is a massive UFO hotspot. But the thing is, there's a lot of crashes as well.
Right. Okay. So where's all the wreckage? And debris and whatnot?
Well, some of the authorities open up on certain things, but mostly get taken back to the USA, apparently.
Oh, right. So, so they come and collect it, on a salvage, and then ship it all back to the States.
Yeah, apparently even one incident where there was supposed to be over 200 bodies.
Oh,
apparently,
God.
Yeah.
What, with aliens?
Well, yeah, apparently a UFO crashed into the side of a hill, and a couple of hours later a small plane decided to fly over there, and they was having electrical problems and they crashed as well. So then when the military got into the area, it's so cold that there was about 200 bodies, and they all got sent to the USA.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
That seems really interesting. Yeah. Keep me informed what you find out on that one.
Yeah.
Really, it's been a bit of a weird week because lockdown restrictions have been lifted slightly in the UK, meaning people can go out, socialise a little bit, see friends and family.
Yeah, good times.
Go out into, public spaces again and stuff like that. So, I think, being the Easter weekend, it's been obviously quite lively for a change. Yeah. Out and about.
And I expect some more as well, to be honest.
I think this is it. It's like as soon as you get given the green light, it's like everyone goes, "Ray!"
Well, it's more of an amber in it than a green light.
Yeah, no, but I think people have just seen
everyone's
it as a green light, haven't they?
Most people are, yeah.
Have you done anything in terms of, I know you're here tonight, which is great, because obviously we've been recording a lot remotely.
Yes, we are.
Over the last months.
Yeah.
But obviously with the restrictions being lifted a little bit, that's cool.
Yeah, I haven't really done much out of it yet because we're still sort of in restrictions up to now. So it's a case of...
Well, like I say, you can go out in a bit. I mean, I went fishing yesterday. Nice to get out of the house. Didn't catch anything.
Catch out? No.
Nah, nothing. I know, do you know what? I think
That's
I'm
twice now.
I'm a jinx, mate. Honestly, seriously, don't feel like I'm like a good omen when we go fishing.
I think you need grenade fishing.
I was saying that actually the other day. Dynamite would be a good call, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
But I mean, we're not fishing to eat, so you know, what I mean, it's just a waste.
Yeah, that is true.
I just got too much
we'll
fish in the freezer.
We'll have to get you a big net or something to just fling in there.
I would just say, we'll just dredge the pond next time. It'll be right.
Might as well.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
But it was nice to get out, like I say, and just actually do something a bit more active outside. I'm sure everybody's doing bits, having a drink, going to barbecues,
especially
doing
with the sun out. Yes, definitely.
Yeah, but even though with the sun out yesterday, it was still pretty cold.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm chilly as anything.
Yeah. Really got a bit of a bitter on the top.
It was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Other than that, yeah. What else? Seen anything good on the TV? Anything like that? I've been watching the Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Oh yeah. How's that going?
It's good. Yeah,
Good
really
series.
enjoying it. It's been like really kind of like a movie. It's been like watching a movie over parts, basically. They put a lot of effort into this. They've put a lot of effort into the WandaVision, but this is more like a Captain America movie. Do you know what I mean? And the last episode was really good. I did come up with a bit of a thing though at the end, and it was bugging me for the first 2 episodes.
Yeah,
and I was like, "What is that song?" Yeah, because there's the theme song at the end, and it goes down, 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 and I was like, "Wow, what is this?" Like it's striking something in my head. Like I've heard this before.
Yeah,
and I twigged to what it was yesterday. It's Tenacious D, Kielbasa Sausage.
Kill what?
Kielbasa Sausage.
I don't think that on mainstream now.
You don't know that, but you know it's if you know who Tenacious D are,
I know who they are.
You might understand where I'm coming from with this.
I haven't heard a lot of the
but
music
once you
so much
hear
of
it, you can't unhear it.
Well,
I do apologise in advance.
Well, is it the devil's music?
No, because it's one of them. Because as soon as it comes on the TV now, every episode, I just go Kielbasa Sausage. Your butt cheeks is warm.
Oh, right, okay.
I check my dipstick. You need lubrication, honey.
All right.
Yeah, it's a tune. If you've never heard it, go and check out Kielbasa Sausage by Tenacious D.
I might have to just do that now.
Other than that, we've got some new merch coming very soon.
Oh, yeah, can't wait, man.
We'll be giving you more details on that and when. And if you want to help support us, you can buy merch, but you can also get over to Patreon.
Oh, yes,
/ Never a Straight Answer, or buy me coffee.
Oh, I love a coffee.
Buy me a coffee or buy me coffee. NASA Pod.
Yes.
Yeah, and it all helps, really does. So, especially, you know what, these times.
These times, yeah. Yeah.
You know definitely. What I mean? Got to keep the lights on.
Yeah.
Otherwise, no Aleke, no new episodes, sorry.
Well, yeah, we might have to start doing other stuff on like charging or something like that.
I was actually looking, here's something I have been looking into quick before we move on. Water turbines. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I came up with, I have these moments of genius.
Okay.
Right? Because I worked out, right, that you could power your house with a water turbine, right? Make it yourself, right?
Yeah.
And then run it off the tap. Yeah.
Well,
because it'd be cheaper than the electric. Yeah, right? Because your water rates is one rate, right?
Yeah.
In the UK, I don't know about the rest of the world, but in the UK, you pay a flat rate, and that's it, right? So regardless of how much you use, I don't think they're going to come round and go, you've been using way too much. I don't know, right? But if I had a water turbine with a jet hose, right, which was powering a turbine and had enough energy to power my house, then wouldn't that be cheaper than the going direct to the electricity board?
But I think you could simplify it even more.
I think that's a really fucking good idea.
Yeah, but I think you can simplify it that you don't have to use that much water.
Oh, probably. But you can, but it depends on how much power you want to generate.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it?
I'll be going green, all self-sufficient.
Well, we might have to.
I'm off grid. I don't want to live under your rules anymore.
Well, if the prices go up, like they always do, so there'll be only a certain time when everyone goes, you know what, I've had enough of this, I'm going green, I'm going to do it myself. Yeah. Don't need you no more, bye-bye.
Well, there you go. If you've done it, if you've got, solar panels is one thing, but if you've done any alternate energy solutions in your place, I'd love to hear from you, because, I've been looking on the YouTube and there's some bloody genius people out there. Who, they're running the garden sheds off fucking wind power or whatever. I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, moving on. Chain connections this week. We got a rollover.
Oh, we have.
No one's got it yet properly.
No one's got it? Oh.
No, not yet. But we'll give you the clues again.
Yes, we will.
So, we've got an audio clue, which I'll give you now while Taylor's getting the rest of the clues.
Yes.
So, if you know what this sound is...
And it is the sound.
What is that? Go on. What's your next clue?
My next clue is this is in CERN's complex.
It's in CERN's complex.
It is in CERN's complex. And the third clue is it started up 10th of September 2008.
Well, there you go. If you think you know what Mr. Taylor's talking about, you know what to do. Get on the email at neverastraightanswer or neverstraightanswer@gmail.com, or hit us up on the website at neverastraightanswer.co.uk or Twitter at NASA_never. And yeah, right or wrong answers.
Yeah, just send us a message.
Don't be scared.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and you could be joining.
We like a laugh. We like a laugh.
No, it's funny though, because the way I think about it is I like how people's minds work, and then you got your clues, and then you can go, well, what does that mean to me? And then some of the answers that we get are genius and do actually connect.
Yeah,
And you know, I can see the logic in it.
Yeah.
So, you
totally.
know, I love that. So no matter what you think it is, send us your answer. It will be appreciated.
It will.
And we'll be back next week with hopefully a winner for that.
Oh, yes.
But before we carry on, this episode is brought to you in part by Audible.
Yeah.
You can get your Audible trial. It's a great way for new customers to try audiobooks and make every moment count. With their Audible trial, customers will receive one free audiobook of their choice to keep. And even if you cancel, you can still keep it.
It's worth it alone just for that one book.
Prime customers will receive 2 audiobooks in their trial. They've got a wide choice from the world's largest selection of audiobooks, including bestsellers, new releases, sci-fi, romance, mysteries, classics, and more. After your 30 days, you can either cancel it, or you can keep your subscription and get one new book every month.
Can't beat it.
And it's just $7.99. It renews automatically, but cancelling is easy.
Yeah.
So
easy peasy.
There you go. You can download a list, or download and listen to the world's best-selling audiobooks, original series, podcasts, and more.
So you know where to go to.
You check the link in the description.
You can.
I'm just just finished Sandman.
Have you finished it now?
Yeah, and I'm looking at. Do you know what? I've actually got this on CD, but because it's on CD, it's like my laptop doesn't even have a disc player anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
Nothing's got a CD drive anymore. So I was actually thinking about getting Douglas Adams' Hitchhiker's Guide again. Because
why not?
Stephen Fry, brilliant.
Yeah,
it's read really well, and it's just a great book. So,
why
other
not?
than that, you can choose what you want, really.
Yeah. Fantasy, murders, anything you're into.
Moving on, we've got our main topic tonight, and as promised, it is a really big mystery. And I mean, you can claim that it's been debunked and solved and all the rest of it, and we want to go into it a little bit because there are a few theories that claim to have solved it.
Yeah,
but
true,
they do miss out some details, and like there's some connections here that you could argue were 2 separate incidents, but are linked.
I would argue that they're linked, definitely.
Well, I'd say they were linked in several ways.
Yeah.
Like I say, tonight we're going to be talking about the Solway Firth Spaceman, that famous image that came out of, is it Cumberland?
Yeah.
Also known as the Solway Spaceman or the Cumberland Spaceman. It's a figure that's been photographed, and the photograph was taken in 1964 by fireman, photographer, and local historian Jim Templeton.
Yeah.
He basically been out on a day out with his family, hadn't he?
Yeah.
To the is it the
Usual.
Burgers Marsh?
Yeah, he's
Berg Marsh.
Once a week, I believe he used to go up there and just go and take photos and have a day out with the family.
Right. Okay. So he was a bit of an amateur photographer as well as a local, I'd say, hero. He was a fireman. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Obviously took an interest in the local history.
Yes.
And say he's going out taking photographs with his family.
Yeah.
So he's gone up to Bergs Marsh, which is situated near Bergs on Sands, right, which overlooks Solway Firth.
Yeah.
In Cumbria, England.
Yeah.
Sorry?
Northern.
Oh, yeah.
Northern part.
Northern England. So Templeton claims that the photograph shows a figure in the background wearing a spacesuit and insists that he didn't see anyone present in the photograph when he was taking it.
Yeah.
So the image was reported widely in many newspapers and gained a lot of interest.
Oh, yeah.
At the time from just general public as well as ufologists.
Yeah.
So, bit about the photograph, right? So he took it on the 23rd of May 1964, right? And he was out, like you say, he was out with his daughter and his
wife and his two
wife.
daughters.
It was his two daughters at the time, wasn't it? Yeah. So like he's out for a day out.
Yeah.
And he snaps a couple of photographs of like the family.
As you do. So
Templeton actually says that he took 3 photographs of his daughter, Elizabeth, that day, and she was, in a smiling pose. I'd do that myself as a photographer. I'd take a couple of photographs, even if it's, the same pose, really. I mean, just get a couple of shots, and then you can always choose which one's the best out of those 3.
Oh, yeah, you got selection then, haven't you?
So that's what he claims to have done. He said I took about 3 photos of my daughter in a simple pose, and that was all he thought of it. Yeah. It was only when he got back to the house and decided that, get these developed. Now, he wasn't that into his photography that he was developing himself and had a dark room on his property, but he was taking them to a development lab. And I think he had a bit of a relationship with the guy, not but like a existing relationship with the guy who ran the place.
Yeah.
I think he was in there quite a lot. And it's a small town, he's an amateur photographer, so he's probably in there quite a bit, often, getting his photographs developed, to the point where there was actually an incident where, to show off his sort of photography skills, he played a trick on, I think it was the guy who works in the development lab, and I'm not sure if it was supposed to be like a counterfeit note or a counterfeit banknote,
Okay.
And he was just trying to blag him with his skills, basically,
show
right?
him what he can do.
So there was a bit of a theory that the development guy or the photo technician had kind of put this in to try and get his own back on Jim.
Yeah, so he's playing a practical joke.
Yeah, exactly. But so, like I say, well, anyway, besides the point, he's taken them in to get developed, and he's noticed something quite strange in one of the photographs. And like I say, he's took 3 photographs of his daughter, and this image only appears in one of them, and it was the middle one, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's right.
So strange there, because I mean, again, how fast he would have took those images. One.
Yeah.
There's one thing, so it's like, how come it wasn't fully in the frame, or
there
passing by, or there wasn't another image that shown what this person was.
Yeah, or come direction.
More
then
clearly,
must have been a direction.
There was only one image out of the lot that kind of even shows up in.
Yeah,
so
that's right.
If you've not seen the image, do Google it. I mean, it's probably on our
site.
It'll be on our Instagram, definitely, but I'll be using it in the title card for this episode as well. So, I mean, make your own mind up what you think that looks like. But to me, it does look, on first instance, like a spacesuit, spaceman.
Of course, yeah. Of course.
It
was a space race as well, if you
plus,
think about
it was. It was in the
times.
middle of the space race, wasn't it? Yeah, right. So, in fact, this is the thing, isn't it? Because there's a military base not actually too far from the site.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And I do believe that that's where they were developing some of the Blue Streak rockets that were going to be used in the British
testing.
Yeah. Do in order to try and launch a rocket up into space. Mm-hmm. So the idea that it was quite close to this site does kind of make me think, was there something to do with that?
Yeah, because it adds a little sort of phenomenon, I suppose, or a reason for, if they're messing around with stuff, we're not understanding what it is, that there could be, something there.
Well, obviously, Templeton took the image to the police. The police basically said that they didn't think that there was any anything dodgy about it or anything like, untoward.
No crime,
There was no crime had been
Yeah.
committed. And even though he thought it was kind of worth taking to the police, I mean, I don't know what he expected them to do about it, to be honest.
Well, it's I suppose in his eyes, it's weird. Which in our
I
eyes now,
understand
it's
that.
weird
Well,
what's going on there.
Totally,
And
yeah.
it could have happened time and time before. So
Oh, right,
it could
if they
be-
had any... So I'd go there just to see if there'd been any other incidents or
Yeah.
any other sightings.
Yeah.
But like I say, the police examined the image and they said that there was nothing suspicious about it. Then, obviously, the local media
grabbed hold of it.
Yeah. They basically kind of popularised it to the point where the whole country...
Yeah, it went
was gripped by it,
worldwide.
was it? I mean, was it worldwide?
Yeah, I remember.
Well, it was
parts in America
Yeah,
about
you
it.
are right. It did go worldwide, and we'll get to that a bit later on.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of speculation to whether it was a photographic fraud, whether these images or this image was as it seemed.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got to remember this is back in the 60s when there wasn't Photoshop.
Yeah, and there was beginnings of cameras and messing around in that kind of activities. That they were the years when it was starting to become more popular.
Well, I'd say it had been popular since the
But technology
30s and 40s,
as it's
but
moving
I mean, like, in terms of colour photography, and it's always progressing photography, which is a great thing about it. But in terms of what you could do in image manipulation, you were very limited, and when you did do stuff like that, it was quite noticeable. I mean, if you were to send it to an expert, they definitively say, no, it's a hoax.
Yeah.
Whereas
that is true.
when you get images and it is so good that it's baffling, then even when you send it to places like Kodak, which they did, because he insisted that there was no figure in the photograph, and
they wanted proof, and
he sent it to be analysed by Kodak, and they confirmed that the photograph was genuine.
Yeah,
there was no tampering with it whatsoever. This was shot as it was, right?
Still to this day.
And the experts from Kodak even turned around and said, for anybody who could actually
do the process again.
Well, no, not even that.
Process.
Just prove that what it was. Yeah. They said they'll give a reward of free film for a full year to anybody who could solve the mystery. However, nobody ever claimed the bounty. No one ever claimed the prize.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
do you want all that film though? That's too much film, mate. You know what I mean?
Well, this is the thing, isn't it? When people go, well, you get a year's free supply, it's like, well, you probably get one a week for the next year.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not a lot.
If I
You're
was
limited.
a photographer and I turn around and go, yeah, well, I need at least 20 a day or something like that. Do you really
I
think
take
they're
a lot
going to
of
say,
photographs.
Yeah.
Well, it depends if you solve the mystery.
Well, that is true, yeah. And it's been unsolved up to now, so...
Well, there was a BBC journalist in 2014, David Clark, who basically had a look into it, and they said like there was a sort of a kind of an idea that it could have been his wife who was actually in a couple of shots.
Yeah.
And they say that it could be him. Her. And when he was taking the photograph, it was just his wife got in the shot, but. She's wearing a blue dress, in the photographs that we do have of her. Yeah. And they're saying that it was due to her being overexposed. Yeah. And I don't get that because I don't see how you can have one subject in the photograph perfectly exposed and then another subject who overexposed. It's rather the whole image is overexposed or underexposed.
Yeah.
Or
can't pick and choose.
It's... unless there was a really, really severely bright light on that person, then I can't see how that dress would be so overexposed and nothing else be affected in the image.
Well, this is where I would say that if it was anyone, I wouldn't have said the mother. I would have said the sister, because the sister was wearing a white top.
How old was the sister?
She was only a couple of more years older by the looks of things.
Well, I mean, in terms of kind of height
but she
and
had
stuff
white,
like that.
White top and a pink dress, so that can cover the
to be
white
honest,
bit.
it could have just been a passerby. Does it really need to have been any of the people present? And I mean, we're looking at it from that perspective where we're saying, well, we only know these 4 people were there, yeah? You've got
that's right.
the girl's covered, Elizabeth, because she's in the photograph. You've got the father's covered because he's taking the photograph.
That's right.
Which leaves the 2, the mother and the daughter, right?
Yeah, what are they up to?
Now, on my analysis or my looking into this, then I start noticing things like, well, firstly, you'd look at that and say, there's an astronaut coming towards her, yeah, because you've got the visor.
Yeah, that's what you'd first think.
Yeah, but then if you look a bit closer, you'll see how the arm bends. Yeah,
like
the visible arm with the elbow visible. It's
more like a runner.
Well, it's almost like it's bending the opposite way, as if that's like the back end of the elbow. It's your elbows don't point out, do they? They point back. Yeah. So it's almost like that's the back side of the subject, not the front side coming towards them. That's how it looks. Do you know, straight away?
That's
But looking at that, I'd say that was the back side of whatever person was there. Yeah.
Or object. Yeah.
Yeah. Or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, so I don't think that it was the wife in the blue dress with an overexposure.
No.
I'd say, like you say, if it could have been the other daughter.
Yeah, it's possible, but she had long hair. She had long curly hair. That's
you see,
this
is the other thing they say, because it says that the haircut, the mother had a bit of a bobbed haircut, which could have been mistaken for
a crash helmet. I don't know,
but the crash helmet in question's white.
Yeah, it's got white on top.
Do you know
it's got dark in between. It's not like it's, and there's nothing like strands or anything coming off it, and like to me, it's like it looks like a hot air balloon.
So there was another theory as well, saying that it was due to the camera that he was using was it a Pentacon F SLR camera, which only allows him to see about 70% of what the lens is capturing.
Yeah, I heard that as well, yeah.
So when he's looking down the lens, he's kind of got a limited view, but obviously when it takes that picture, he's got more of the shot in than he realises on first. Right, yeah. So he might have squared his subject up, his daughter, and then he's gone to take the picture, and he's thought, right, that's perfect. And then, but obviously his wife could have been passing in the background, his daughter could have been passing in the background, or another person entirely, and he didn't get him. But it just fascinates me that this subject wasn't in the first or the third shot, but he's on the second one.
Yeah. Yeah, the middle shot's just the one, and it's like, it is a weird one. I must admit, it is a weird one, and it has been
So, like I say, David Clark in 2014, he says that it was most likely Templeton's wife Annie, and that's what it could be. There was another saying that it could have been a double exposure, but again, Kodak have said there's none of that. I've
heard one of like it could have been the wife, because if you look on the right hand side of the picture of the helmet or face or whatever it is, you can just see the outline of a nose, a mouth, like if you'd see someone side on.
Okay, well let me just I don't buy, like I don't buy the overexposure thing, because obviously, right, if you get an image, you can try this with any image, get some Lightroom or any other sort of photo editing software, and there'll be an exposure slide there,
okay,
slide it up and down and see what happens. The whole photograph is rather overexposed or underexposed, If you wanted to overexpose a certain character or person in that one photograph, you'd have to paint them in a paintbrush on software that exists now but didn't then, and you could change the exposure of that person in particular, but again, you couldn't do that. I mean, unless he was a severely bright light source on his wife,
wow.
And it would have been present everywhere else,
you would have seen, because you would have seen more shadows and stuff. So
I'm not 100% convinced on the overexposure theory, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm not. I never was, to be honest.
Some more theories. What have you heard? Some reports suggested that there was Men in Black.
Yeah, because apparently around the base, supposedly witnesses have come forward and said they've seen a man in a suit walking around there, around the area. They didn't know him, they didn't know what he was about, but he was walking around the area. And then he had a visitor a couple of times, hadn't he?
Yeah, well, apparently. Well, so he was visited by legit Men in Black.
Yeah.
But you were telling me about just people trying to have a
laugh,
trying to pull his leg.
Yeah, people have gone to his yard, going, yeah, we're investigating. We're for the government. We're like MIB. Tell us this, tell us that. We want to know the story. But he's a clever fella, and he cottoned on that, these were trying to blag him. Yeah. It was a big story, wasn't it?
Well, it was. I mean, another theory that came out said that Jim had captured a picture of an alien. Both of the ships and the aliens were shielded by a cloaking device that made them invisible to humans and the human eye, but not to cameras. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
So obviously, and then obviously people said that with Jim seeing aliens or a spaceman, then
that's where I
Men
seen
in
it.
Black were involved.
From it was seeing this alien on the background. There's 3 photos right, exactly the same. All of a sudden, bang in the middle of one. This is
apparently, like I say, the legit Men in Black supposedly. Well, so you saying that there's people turning up at his house and saying, "Oh, we're Men in Black," and he's going, "Whatever, mate."
Yeah.
Whereas there was a point where
there was actual
2
ministries.
men turned up and said, "Take us to where you saw it," and he did. Yeah,
and they had no names as well. They were listed by number, which was number 9 and number 11.
Who, the Men in Black?
Yeah, yeah, and it was like, well, fair enough. If you're the Men in Black, yeah.
Yes, number 9.
Yeah. Apparently, they
would you like 2 sugars, Mr. 11?
Yeah, go on then. I'll have a coffee, please.
Well, he basically said, Jim said later on that the 2 men who visited him refused to disclose their identity. However, they did work for the government and, only identified in numbers.
Yeah.
So it's a really...
I didn't like what they did, though.
What?
I didn't like what they did because they took him to the place where he took the photos. They talked to him for about 4 minutes, and then they got in the car and left him there 10 miles away.
Just fucked off?
Yeah, and he was like, hold on, mate. You could have given us a cab or something, you know what I mean?
No, we've got what we came for. Leave him here.
That's it. That's all they want. They want the info, know what you've got, and if you've got a lot, then, you're disappearing. If you haven't, then they're gone. Well, they don't want.
So, we were talking there earlier and saying that this Blue Streak rocket was being developed. Was it being developed in Cumbria, or was it being developed?
Yeah, that was the developing area.
So for the idea, because this is where it starts. I mean, if it wasn't weird enough, this gets a bit more weirder, right? So obviously, being part of the Commonwealth, the launch wasn't actually due to take place in the UK, but in Woomera, Australia. On the 25th of May, 1964. Mm-hmm. What's significant about it is that it was actually abandoned because of mysterious unidentified figures wearing white suits were seen walking around the launch pad, which bore obviously striking resemblance to the captured photograph of the Solway Firth Spaceman.
Right, soul-spitting image.
So a couple of the engineers who actually worked on the launch, they didn't even know about the Solway Firth Spaceman incident.
No.
Which only took place a day earlier.
Yeah.
Right?
That's right.
And obviously the figures were unidentified and mysteriously vanished as fast as they appeared. Yeah?
Yeah, this was it. It was like a 2-second but bin out. And it was like, hold on, what's going on?
So they had to call off the launch because and in fact, we have a photograph of the encounter. We will post that as well.
We will.
Where there's 2 men in what appear to be white spacesuits on the launch pad, right? The pictures of the Solway Firth had not yet hit the mainstream media, right? No. But when they did, one of the engineers that worked on the launch saw one of the pictures in the newspaper and
Put two and
was
two together and went,
convinced, was absolutely convinced how remarkably similar they did look.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
Soul spitting image, mate. Soul spitting image.
After that, they got in touch with Jim, who reported that the technicians from the Blue Streak missile project in Australia had, obviously contacted him and said that they'd spotted similar people or similar characters walking around the launch pad area, and could they, speak to him? So obviously they did, and it came out that obviously the missiles were being assembled at the nearby RAF base at Spradamere or Spradam, is it?
Spradam?
Spadeham. Spadeham.
Spadeham?
Yeah, where I don't know where it is. It's Spadeham, UFO, RAF base, Spadeham.
Right, yeah.
So it's a bit weird that now you've got kind of this connection. Yeah, you've got this idea that the missiles were being created in one area, and there's a photographic sighting of this spaceman on the 24th, and then on the 25th, the way across the world, a very similar incident, but very closely connected to these Blue Streak missiles.
And thinking about it now, I believe, I can't be 100%, I will check out this, because I want to know myself now. I believe that there was one in Texas as well, where there was one of the US, NASA's shuttles that was about to go up, and all of a sudden, for a couple of seconds, one describing exactly the same, standing there for a couple of seconds and then disappearing, and they had to cancel it, but then they relaunched it, and when they relaunched it, it blew up.
Yeah.
And there was no actual, I believe there was no actual supposed to be any kind of fault with it.
Right,
at the time. Yeah. So, it had been tested time and time again, and there was no issue. But this time, all of a sudden, bang, something's there, gone. Right, let's check it out. Nothing wrong. Let's send it up, boom.
Well, there's been loads. I mean, obviously, it's been a story that's been looked at time and time again, and we've still not got a kind of definitive answer to what the actual phenomenon was. Responding to a request from ufologists, the photo was actually sent to the British Ministry of Defence office, and officials there said Templeton's photograph was of no interest whatsoever.
Bullshit,
in 1996, Templeton and his now adult daughter Elizabeth were interviewed for a Scottish newspaper, Dumfries Courier, and Elizabeth was said to comment, "We got a lot of hassle from people, like the press, but it was she was really young and can't really remember much, but she remembers enough to know that they got a lot of hassle for it, and this is another thing that always kind of comes back to a question that I always have whenever we talk about these sort of stories is, why would you ruin your reputation for a hoax, for something that is gonna tarnish your name and potentially ruin your daughter's lives?
Well, this is
you know what I mean. And I always wonder why that, it doesn't add a bit more credence to it, because obviously this guy he's a respected fireman, he's a local historian, he seems to be quite liked in the area, and
there seems to be
all
no
of
issues.
a sudden it's like you're the town wackadoo, and it's not even like he's going around saying anything. He's happened to capture something in a photograph,
and
shown it around, and it's like happened. But the problem is, I show you that photo, you've got as much sort of input to it as I have, because I took the photograph, but you tell me what it is, and anybody looking at it will tell you the same thing. They'll go, it's an astronaut,
hot air balloon astronaut.
It does actually. It's funny you said balloon, actually, because it does look inflated. It does look like a spaceman balloon.
Yeah, but so were the ones that were caught on video. On them 2 seconds in the same places, and it's like, why? That just makes me think that within the suit had to be a different kind of airflow or something like that. which makes it even weirder.
How do you mean?
Well, why would you have an inflated? Why would you be stood in an inflated? There'd be so much air you've got.
Oh, you mean like a hot air balloon?
Yeah, because it looks inflated. It looks like a hot air.
It looks
balloon.
like a Macy's Day Parade balloon. That's what it looks like. Do you know, like when you see them?
Yeah.
And,
so it looks inside the suit. There has got to be some kind of air that is not leaking.
I get where
you get where I'm coming from.
Yeah,
so why is it closed off like that? Wouldn't it be better off with material that's closer to the skin? They can breathe, unless they wanted people to think.
I'm going back to do you know this analysis saying that it could be rather his wife or his daughter. Looking at the image again here, I've got a couple of more things I wouldn't mind saying. So firstly, his wife was wearing a blue dress, but it was sleeveless.
That's right.
The image here is clearly somebody with long sleeves.
Yeah, that's what makes me think that
there's no difference between skin tone to clothing tone or anything.
No.
Yeah. Another thing with the hair, I'd say again, you can't. It could have been a cloud. That could be a passing cloud potentially. Yeah, which just happened to be above a head. Yeah, and that is a bobbed haircut with just happened to have a cloud overhead.
Over the top.
I don't know. It's all possible,
it's too,
but
it's too perfect for that. I think
it is. It is too perfect.
Too perfect,
isn't it?
And it'd have to be at the right angle, at the right shape, at the right time. And if he's caught that like that, you know what I mean? It's like
now,
1 in a billion.
The original photo as well is quite dark if you think about
definitely.
it, right? And even that. It says to me that this photograph was for a clear blue sky day. He's actually quite underexposed. Yeah,
that's
there's quite a lot of. I mean, the photograph's been reproduced so much now that it's very difficult to say which one was the original exposure.
That's true.
But even if you look at it from both angles, you've got the there's an image out there of Jim Templeton's daughter where it's quite low light, looks quite dark, and then you've got another one which is quite bright. Yeah. I'm assuming someone's bumped the contrast up or bumped the exposure up on it.
To try and figure out
to try and see if you can see anything else in the image. But,
fair enough.
But that still doesn't explain how. No, that's not. In fact, you can still see a bit of shadow on the figure as well.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Do you think there's any merit to the idea that it could be some sort of investigation into our space race from another country, perhaps, like, say, a Russian spy or Chinese or some other country, even America? You know what I mean? They was trying to get a bit of information. I don't know what they were trying to ascertain from being on the top of this hill, but...
No, because...
I mean, granted, it's close to the military base, but... We're not talking like this was seen at the military base, are we?
No, there was just a lone man walking around in a black suit that was seen around.
Oh, right.
The
so there was actually some sightings of somebody seen at the base.
Yeah, it was closely after this image had been taken.
Oh, right. So this was see now that could have just been like.
But there was nothing around
involved.
them. Yeah, could have been anyone at that time. It could have been just someone who was walking by. In that field, you know what I mean? Getting from A to B.
I think there's too much of a coincidence that this figure's shown up the very next day, and like I say, from a photography perspective, it's as clear as day to me. I mean, it's like you can't deny that there was someone there. There's someone there. Yeah, right. It's the identity of that someone. You'd think that if you were walking in the park that day, and you happen to have got in the way of someone's photograph, you might know about it. Do you know what I mean? Or if you seen that in the newspaper the next day and you thought, I was walking in that park up that hill yesterday.
That's true.
Oh, that's actually me. Yeah, they'd come forward.
I would imagine so,
and say, I own up, it was me in the photograph.
But then,
this is what I was wearing.
I've got to consider something else, but it's only been going on for like the last about 10 years, which is spotting of UFOs, which seems to be like a man in a
jetpack.
Yeah. And there's even ones with like little balls around them that move.
So like Robbie Rocket Pants.
Yeah, so considering that as well, if that was then,
the fictional tale of Robbie Rocket Pants.
If it was back then, if you could, if that whatever that UFO thing was, even if it was a man in a jetpack, you know,
if
we had like
Robert.
James Bond and all that, you know, going on with jetpacks were going in.
Jetpacks is one thing, but I mean,
but there's
no evidence
movement
to say that he's got any sort of jetpack strapped to him or anything.
That's true.
Do you know what I mean? It doesn't look like he's got any sort of backpack on at all, really, does it?
Could be on his shoes.
And like I say, if that is the back of him, you would see a jetpack.
Yeah, you would see at least flames or something like that. And they would as well.
So it looks to me like an astronaut with his helmet on backwards. Unless
not necessarily backwards, I don't think.
Because we're taking for granted that black streak is a visor, yeah? It could just be a design aspect in the back of a helmet.
Yeah.
Or it could just be hair and a cloud passing over the...
Yeah, Billy in one shot, yeah. Well, if it could happen, it can happen, it will happen.
Yeah. Oh, well,
it's one of them, you know what I mean? I mean, it could have been the best shot that, like, anyone's ever going to take like that.
Well, like I say, it is a mystery.
It is.
And, you know, we're not any closer to solving it. And if you've got any ideas or you think we've missed anything, you know what to do. Get in touch.
Yeah.
We can get in touch at neverstraightanswer@gmail.com. Hit us at the website at neverstraightanswer.co.uk.
Oh, yeah.
Or just hit us up on in social media at NASA_never on Twitter.
Yeah, we're always there for you.
We want to know, if you feel like there's anything more to this, that there's anything we've missed, because it doesn't seem... Because didn't you say that there was another sighting, actually, of this type of figure? Another area, somewhere else?
There's... to my recollection, there is about five or six, and there's probably some that I haven't even seen. But over the years, as I've been looking into him, there has been bits that have been coming forward that actually make me think of this.
It reminds me of that Doctor Who episode where the astronaut kills him. It's like this weird sort of phenomenon where this like astronaut will just appear, and I mean I don't mean in Doctor Who, but I just mean generally, you know.
Yeah, and could be a new.
If they were looking at the, if they were interested in the Blue Streak missile or rocket launch,
yeah.
Were they there to postpone it, or were they trying to
help it along?
Well, it got postponed. Did it even end up taking off?
No.
Ever?
Yes, there was crash sites, definitely.
All right.
Yeah,
so it didn't do too
sites.
well.
Yeah.
Well, how do you know that they weren't the saboteurs?
Well, this is where it makes me think about the Texas one of the missile going up, and then all of a sudden it's gone up. I mean,
well, we've got some news about some like stuff like that debris tonight. Actually, going in.
There is another one, but I'm very suspicious about it. I'll tell you now, I'm very suspicious about it. I was back then, and this was about 97. Challenger. You remember Challenger going up? Right. Well, there was, I believe, there was an incident like that. The 2 second like pop in, pop out there as well, and which it was suspended for, I believe, I think it was only for something like 20 minutes. And then they let it up, and then look what happened. Unfortunately, it was a disaster.
Yeah.
It blew up and killed the first women that actually that were going up to space. But I am suspicious about that because with that being such a big incident, that there was a load of reports coming out. Like there was one saying that they spotted a UFO coming in, and then shooting at the top of it, and then going basically if you slowed down.
If you slowed it down.
Yeah, I know. If you slowed it down. But there also is a guy who's supposed to have videoed a special missile.
Yeah.
for the US military. He was told to film it. He filmed it, and apparently he'd spotted something on there when it blew up, and he was supposed to have been a witness, but there is no video to it.
There's no actual evidence.
Yeah, because the governments have it, don't they?
You see, this is it. We need more evidence.
Well, this is it, yeah, and it's slowly coming out, but
yeah, but
this
is the thing, though. But when evidence comes out, and you get I mean, you could argue, right. I mean, the thing is, spaceman's a broad term, right? Yeah, right. We've got astronauts here on Earth, and that's what it looks like. It doesn't look like a spaceman. Yeah, it looks like an astronaut, right? Yeah. So, an astronaut, typically human. Yeah?
Yeah, well, right, in our human view, anyway.
He looks humanoid. Yeah, he's got arms, two arms, legs,
body.
And he looks in what we'd consider, and even more to the point, era specifically than the 60s. Yeah, it looks like an era correct spacesuit.
Yeah, bar the bits on it.
To a point, and what I'm getting at is, if I was to kind of like go in as a fancy dress in the 60s, that'd be more like what it looked like than anything. Yeah, so to say it's of extraterrestrial origin, is another kettle of fish, because it's like there's nothing to say at all that it's extraterrestrial, right?
That's true.
I'd say it points, for me, more towards espionage and trying to rather sabotage or gain information.
How do you
on a project that's being run by the British government, i.e. Blue Streak.
Cold War was still on, yeah.
So I don't believe that it was alien in that sense. But, but you know, you've got kind of some agents out there. It's like, I mean, dress incognito. It's like, well, definitely didn't do that.
Yeah, it's still the case of he had seen no one there that day bar himself, unless he's lying. And we can't tell now because he died 2011.
Yeah, he did, didn't he? Passed
at 91, no, good didn't he? Yeah, 91, man. Yeah. But yeah, unless he's lying, because his last words were on his deathbed were, "Now it's up to you to solve it." I believe it was.
Well, he's not wrong, is he? And I mean, at the end of the day, it's like that must have been a real head scratcher. Yeah, from the day you took that photograph till the day you die, you'll be forever pondering.
And like you said, why would you do a hoax and like ruin your life and reputation? Well, not your life, but your reputation for at least a certain amount of period.
Life, but I mean, the problem being, it's like he can swear down, swear to God, swear on his family, swear, you know, and absolutely swear till he's blue in the face that there was nothing there. Yeah, right. But there was a split second there, where he had his eye on the viewfinder, where the camera he was using was only was blocking 30% of his visual, and he couldn't categorically say no one walked past.
Yeah, but his missus didn't say anything. His second child didn't say anything. His child who was taking the photo didn't say anything.
I know, because you'd think if it was his wife, she'd go, "Oh, it's me, you stupid sod," and then it'd go no further. The photo would sit in a drawer with the rest of them. Yeah,
because she must be thinking the same. Well, that ain't me. I didn't get up. I didn't stand over there.
Yeah, exactly. There was everyone in that family knew where they were when that photograph was taken.
Yeah, because he wouldn't have gone to the police otherwise.
One of them was the person in the photograph. I'm pretty sure they'd have owned up to it.
Yeah, and like you said, unless he was a hoax, but like, why would you? You know,
it'd come out at some point, and they'd just go, I can't even be arsed anymore when we've got fucking Men in Black types turning up at the house.
Well, there is that, it's
not that. He's got young daughters. I don't think anyone would put the family in danger because, you know, anyway. Well, moving on, like I say, if you've got anything to add to the story, you know what to do, get in touch. We've got sponsored promo. We've got a featured podcast this week, which is the Comic Book Keepers podcast.
Oh, yeah.
It's good. I love me comics.
You do.
A podcast where each issue, they explore different comic book characters, team-ups, series, and, artists, I suppose, hosted by Chris and Lance, two nerdy friends who love to talk about comics.
Well, go for it, lads.
And we got a promo here, so enjoy.
Hey, this is Chris.
And Lance.
Asking you to check out our new podcast, Comic Book Keepers.
Join us as we delve deep into comic lore to uncover the history behind a wide variety of comic book characters. Doesn't make sense, but it sounds awesome.
It's comic physics. Each episode will feature one hero, villain, team, or ensemble, and break down what makes these heroes super.
We'll give you recommendations on what storylines to read.
If you're going to read one Joker story, this might be it. Explain how characters were created.
And the publisher said it was the worst thing he had ever heard. Discuss adaptations, costumes, and answer comic fandom's what-if questions.
If we were to make a new turtle, what would they look like? And of course, the important question, what color would their headband be? Yeah, and spoiler alert, these conversations can get pretty nerdy. He can't die. He's basically Highlander that can fly, you know, with like huge muscles. And he's been around so long, and he was Abraham Lincoln.
He was Abraham Lincoln. This is Comic Book Keepers.
Thanks, lads, for dropping in your promo, and you can do the same if you drop yours to neverstraightanswer@gmail.co.uk, and yeah, it could be featured on the show.
Yeah.
So yeah, moving on. We've got the news the news this week.
Yeah.
We've got quite a lot to talk about. So without further ado, it's the news. It is indeed, and we've spent the last 20 minutes looking for the weirdest, bizarrest, craziest news
There's
around.
a lot out there
from Earth, space, and beyond.
Oh yeah.
And first thing I want to talk about tonight is AI. AI.
Oh, yes. AI.
A Boston Dynamics robot now.
Okay.
So they've basically got it dancing now. Well, they've got this a couple of months, but like obviously it's just made me think, seeing this story. The headline being Boston Dynamics robots dancing now. And yes, it's scary. Yeah.
It is.
So people are still worried about, AI. And stuff, and how, don't want the robot overlords to be taking over.
Well, yeah, because we know they're going to be taking our jobs. That's for one. We definitely know over that.
Oh, it's funny, man. Have you seen this robot? I forgot her name now.
Oh, yeah.
She's called, what was she called? Sophia.
Yeah,
I keep seeing her everywhere. She keeps cropping up, right? She just done she recently did a duet with Jimmy Kimmel. And she's appeared on This Morning with Phil.
Right.
Phil and Holly Willoughby.
Oh, yeah, Holly.
And do you know what? It's one of them. She's like has a proper conversation with people. Like,
yeah, but we were talking about this before, weren't we? Like,
is that someone behind the scenes pressing the buttons and making her talk, or is this physical AI? Is this her thinking about things and
because you notice her voice changes as well from different interviews from one to another. There's a slight pitch in that are actually speaking.
Well, yeah, but it's a robot voice, isn't it? So it's generated. Yeah. Obviously, Sophia's she's gone through a few different iterations of the design over the last couple of years. But
can you say she?
I'd say. She's modelled. Well, yes, she's modelled on a female presence, isn't she? I mean, would you? I mean, yeah. What would you? I wouldn't. As a gentleman, I'd be like she
to a machine.
But it's being modelled after a female, isn't it?
Yeah, just because it looks and talks like one doesn't mean it is one.
Well,
you know
I mean,
I mean,
there's a lot of controversy in that statement alone. Yeah,
well,
right.
Yeah,
but what
true.
I'm getting at is, this is an AI robot that has been named Sophia. Yeah, right. The robot. I'm refraining from the he, she's, and whatnot.
Okay.
Yeah, for the moment. Right. But this robot has been made to look female.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's been given a female voice.
Yes,
it's named Sophia. Yeah, right. Everything about it indicates that the designers over at Hanson Robotics, Hanson Robotics, have designed Sophia with the female persuasion in mind, right? Yeah. So for me to call it she is just natural sort of thingy. I mean, in terms of, like, you could argue what's going on in the world today in terms of gender and how people want to be seen,
all over the place at the minute,
and how they want to be represented.
Yeah.
That if, I mean, again, it's like walking on eggshells, really, isn't it? Because it depends on what that person specifically wants to be known as or identifies with.
Exactly.
So there's people out there who go, I'm gender neutral, I'm neither, right? But if you were to say he or she, do you get offended? But I mean, like I say, it's a minefield in itself, right? So to add in a whole another robotic thing, I'm going to call it she. Yeah, I'm going to call the robot.
I'll allow it then.
Sophia.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
well,
right.
The thing is, right, it makes jokes about killing all humans. Now,
yeah, it does.
From the
Is it a joke, though?
Hanson Robotics, they do seem to be on the press junket sort of thing, be like, no, there's no danger here, guys, and all the rest of it. Yeah,
it's their industry, innit? They want to keep
of course
it strong,
it is.
and they want to bring it forward more, which is good to get into the technology. But as we've seen in the past, as soon as you bring something out, you haven't got anything to stop it, or you haven't got anything to, bring it back a little bit.
I know,
so you can fix it.
So this is theirs, isn't it? I mean, it was like I was saying to you about how you could argue that, the human race knows it's a bit of a fucking virus on the planet. Yeah, right? We know that, eventually we're probably going to do something that's going to fuck us all up.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. By far, yeah. In fact, I might put a bet on that.
We know this, but we still fighting for we still fight for our existence every single day, right? If there was a threat on humanity, I mean, we've just had one, a pandemic, right?
Yeah.
And we did everything to try and protect and survive and keep the human race going, right? It's the same as any organism wants, right? Even the virus itself wants to survive, right? And every kind of animal will all try, or virus, organism, whatever, will always try and keep its species going.
It's its number one kick.
Right? Even if we know we're no good for planet Earth, we'll still try and keep ourselves going. Yeah. So it'll come to a point where AI will be like, well, I'm here, I was invented by humanity, but, I'm so smart now that the only way to protect humanity, if you like, is to wipe them out because they're a danger in themselves. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's logical. It seems like a logical argument. So to worry that AI could get to a point where they make that same hypothesis and go, actually, do you know what? Humans are their own biggest enemy.
And then actually do something about it instead of us not doing something about it. It chooses that we've trained it to do things as you perceive.
To make human life better. Yeah, I suppose.
You see old saying, innit? I mean, it's like Hollywell's just come forward, the company, and said that they believe computers are going to be, the standard computers are going to be bypassed by 18 to 24 months by quantum computers. Now, it's only going to take a little bit more time, let's say maybe a couple of months.
And then the sentient...
And then it is going to control a lot of things.
Well, there's a lot of kind of theory into what sort of power and sort of capabilities they're going to end up being able to wield, you know what I mean?
And in the wrong hands as well, if they're in the wrong hands. And we can't really tell who's the right hands and who's the wrong, because when someone's got a bit of power, they tend to like a little bit more.
We'll see what happens with the robot uprising, you know what I mean? It does seem like this Hanson Robotics, they're like, every time I see an interview with them, it's one of the first things they come out with, like, no, it won't kill you. Honest, we promise. It's just quite interesting.
Yeah, it's going to be a good future, but I think a scary one in a lot of ways as well with this kind of stuff.
We all watch the Jetsons. We want a robot maid doing stuff.
But we don't want it kicking our ass if we come in late.
Making you a coffee. Yeah. Do you know how I like it? Make it the same every time.
That's sweet. Another thing. With getting machines to do objects for us, and with our species growing and like lack of exercise, we need to be getting out there and actually doing stuff, and if you're going to get a machine to go and do it for you, then what's the point of you being there?
Well, this is the thing, isn't it? I mean, it's like, what was it, for example, that Back to the Future 2, when it's like we've got a robot walking my dog. Yeah. It's, and then you can get into the realms of like Wall-E, where the human race was so lazy. Yeah. And they relied on robots for everything.
Yes.
You know, like, and it's got to the point where we're just
bags of
puffs. Yeah, we're just like meat robots.
Yeah, we're meat bags, basically, for whoever wants to come and, have a taste, have a little nibble.
Well, we've talked about this enough. Have you seen anything else in the news?
There's actually a company called NDB International.
And what do they do?
And basically, they are bringing out trying to bring out at the minute a new diamond battery, which is it's kind of weird.
When you were saying that, is it a neodymium battery, like with neodymium magnets? Because you were telling me about this earlier, and when you were explaining it,
nano diamond batteries. Which what they're planning on, what they've actually done, is got a chip. And they've put a bit of radioactive isotopes from waste that they've decided, there's a good reason we can use this stuff, you know what I mean? So we might as well. And what they've done is they've put it in the circuitry and covered it in diamond nano plates, basically, so the radiation doesn't come out of it. The heat is controlled, and also that.
So come on, beat around the bush. What does it do?
It will actually. They're considering putting it on in a phone, right? Your phone will not need to be charged for about roughly. They're saying about 28,000 years.
Yeah, well, do you know what? I would not be surprised if that never happened, because a battery like that would revolutionise the world. Honestly, it'll be one of those where it's like, Duracell would be out of fucking...
Yeah, totally.
It's like someone coming up with a new alternative light bulb now that revolutionises everything. Everything else is obsolete.
It's a new energy source. I mean, you could put it in cars and stuff like that.
But that's it. It's like infrastructure.
Companies won't like it.
It's infrastructure because it doesn't fit in with the existing format. That's the problem. And we've talked about this on Suppressed Technologies before, because it's scary, because you'll turn around and say... Oh, what's happening there? They'll say, you can't have that because, unfortunately, everything else is built up for petrol or, this, that, and the other. And it's like, we want to be in a position where we can sell you a product time and time again.
Yeah.
Giving you an everlasting battery is just like...
That's why it hasn't been
It's not cost effective. You only need to buy the one and then you're done, aren't you?
Well, that's it. And, it depends on the price.
Okay. I mean, light bulbs, there are, designs that we've looked at that are,
there's one still
an infinite
going.
light bulb. Yeah, it's basically in a firehouse somewhere in the States.
Yeah.
And it's been burning for over 100 years now.
Yeah.
Basically, it's the longest going light bulb ever. Yeah, but it's one of them where I think they're worried if they turn it off,
that it won't
go back on, so they just leave it on all the time. But they have like kind of tours and people come around and look at the light bulb and go, ooh.
But that's the thing, though. But I mean, it's only been about 10 years when they brought in university, so you can actually make something that can only last so much time. Now,
what is going on with this?
Oh, I don't know.
Having issues here. What's going on? It's not even me. It's like,
Ooh, dodgy. Spooky.
Go on, carry on anyway.
Yeah, I mean, they're always trying to
what do you mean?
To spend the money, even. I mean,
yeah, they want you to keep buying the product. They don't want you to have something that lasts forever, because there's no cost, there's no fucking profit margin in it.
Yeah, and I think one of the first things they should do is close down the universities classes that are actually teaching people to make something to last so long. I think I can't even believe that was brought in.
No, I think nowadays, what people are thinking a bit more like, why has that not been done that way? And thinking a bit more long term and sustainable.
But not short term.
No, people are thinking more sustainable these days. Do you know what I mean? It's the greedy bastards of the past, who were all about a profit. I'm sure they are, right, but more so, right, where it was they invented a product and then it was like, right, let's try and reverse engineer this to try and make it have a shelf life. Yeah. Right now, if you're teaching that in university now, then you should be shut down. Yeah. Right, because you should be teaching sustainability. You should be teaching how to maximize the lifespan of an appliance rather than
minimize it.
Because all that does is adds to landfills and
this
doesn't really
issue.
fucking solve any long-term problems, does it? Just adds to the fucking problem.
Yeah, and it can solve so many issues in just a little format like that. But the only thing is, they don't get the money.
The problem is, people are like that anyway. They're wasteful in the nature because it's true. Like, even in terms of like, buying stuff because it
looks good.
Well, it looks good, or the new one's out. Yeah, right. Yeah. It's like for instance, games consoles, right? Yeah. The new games console comes on the market. Mm-hmm. Straight away you want it, right? Yeah. There's nothing wrong with your old one. Does exactly what you want it to do, and it's not broken in the slightest. But because it's a new one, you'll upgrade. Yeah. Right.
Instead of selling the parts to you.
People decorate the houses once a year because they fancy a change, right? But that's a whole new look, all new furniture, all the rest of it. You rather, if you're gonna fucking give it away and like let someone get the use out of it, then great, and recycle and upcycle and all the rest of it. But if it's going to the landfill, I don't see the point in that. Why not just keep hold of it until it's done? Do you know what I mean? Use your phone till it's physically dead, and then get a new one rather than just upgrading because you want to keep up with the next trend or the best camera or fuck knows anyway.
Yeah, but the thing is that then it ruins it's
so you can't answer it, can you?
No, because it ruins our economies as well, because we need to keep buying to keep the economy going.
Yeah, but if you're buying the economy would literally settle at a different level. It's only we want to keep the economy going to the point it's at now, and the only reason why it's at now is because we're in a spend culture. Yeah. And if we weren't in a spend culture and we made things last, then we'd still need to buy things occasionally. Yeah. But it just wouldn't be as frivolous and as kind of like as vacuous as it is now. It's like we seem to just fucking like consume.
Consumers.
Anyway,
we are consumers.
Gave me angry.
Slow down.
Found this story. It's Easter, if you didn't know.
Oh, is it?
Jesus' birthday.
Oh, is it? Oh,
yeah.
Right.
I always think of that Eddie Izzard sketch where he's like, Jesus died for your sins, and he's like got shoving a chocolate egg in his face. Like, yeah, I know. It's great, isn't it? Well, some chocolate that was given to troops by Queen Victoria 121 years ago has been found in an attic.
Oh, nice.
Wow, some stale chocolate.
Oh, yeah, you wouldn't have a nibble of that, would you?
A 21-year-old chocolate bar with basically royal connections has been found in an attic at the National Trust property. The chocolate bar was part of a batch that was commissioned by Queen Victoria and sent to boost morale of British troops during the Boer War. It was found in its original wrapper and tin in the Boer War helmet of a 15th century Oxburgh Hall in Norfolk.
Nice.
So they found the helmet and tucked away inside was a bit of a chocky treat.
Ah, that's meant, man.
I know, yeah. So they basically, I think, what was it? The curator at the National Trust, Anne Forrest, said, although it's no longer looks as appetising as it probably did in the past, and you probably wouldn't want to eat it as an Easter treat, it's still complete with and it's a remarkable find. So I thought, that was a pretty cool story. Nice chocky story.
Do with it. I wonder if he's going to sell it, or is he probably he's going to give it to the museum.
He'd probably put it in a museum.
I'd suggest that.
Yeah,
myself.
Definitely. I mean, South Africa 1900s, the Boer War. Yeah, excellent condition. That's nice little. It's one of them things, isn't it? It's like one of those little Del Boy finds.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, this could change our life, Rodders.
Well, yeah, it's got to be worth a couple of quid.
Have you heard anything else? I've got this story that I'll go into in a minute, but...
Oh, well, I've heard about a woman finding a woman having a dream about finding a secret door behind a wall in a building that she owned, a salon, and she dreamt that she opened the door and she found dead bodies. So it was
dead bodies everywhere.
Whoa. Yeah, it's going all over TikTok, this.
Seriously?
Yeah.
So she had a dream that she found bodies in a wall?
Yeah,
like
behind
a
a door
premonition?
in the wall, yeah. So she went down
Can I
to
stop
the...
you in it? Have you ever had any premonition dreams? Have you ever had a dream like that? Or any sort of like where you've just woke up and thought, I know exactly what I need to do, and you've done it, and it was bang on?
No, to be honest, no.
I've done it once, and I don't know what it was. I'll let you get back to it, but quickly. Yeah, right. I was racking my brains trying to work out something on a computer piece of software I was using.
Okay.
And I remember being taught this on a course, right? But for the life of me, I couldn't remember how to do it, yeah. And I went to bed that night, yeah, and I had a dream that I was sat in class being taught that lesson, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I remember waking up about 3 o'clock in the morning, going straight to my computer and doing it. Yeah, and I'd been racking my brains all day working out how to do this certain function, and couldn't remember. But I knew I'd been taught it, and I ended up having a dream where I dreamt I was in that class being taught that lesson, woke up, remembered how to do it.
See, no.
So go on, what's it? I don't want to go figure, but did she find any bodies in the wall?
Well, she uploaded. Well, it was her daughter actually that uploaded the two videos. The first one showed that she found the area that she was looking at and started smashing down the wall and realised, there was a door behind it.
Shit.
Yeah. So she started hammering that. Nothing happened. So then there's.
I'd be pulling the wall down, mate. Honestly.
Oh yeah. Well, the wall was the wall come down. It was the door now. That was the big black door that was in the way. So it was like, right. So the second video ended up coming out, and she opened it up, and guess what they found?
Bodies.
No, brick wall.
What?
So and then, as far as I'm aware, they've left it at that.
So what was this door? Where was the door there? If there was a brick wall behind it,
well,
it sounds like they've gone to a lot of trouble to brick up whatever they were.
Yeah, exactly. And I would like to know what's on the other side. And
so have they not looked?
No, they haven't gone any further than that.
Why not? If you're going to go to as much trouble to bust down your wall and all the rest of it, you go that next wall, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Wow, she's not a builder. She might think that the foundations might come down.
We've a fucking world of pussies, these guys.
But then
seriously, it's like, what was that one about the, well, they've already got one wall torn down. It's like if they've already got to get a builder in. What's the difference?
The wall, though, it was like fucking paper mache, mate.
Get the sledgehammer out.
And they were like, fucking Dobby, what the fuck?
I would be a bit kind of like, shit, I don't know whether I should go
I'll knock a brick or two out.
I'd just knock a brick out or two. Yeah, exactly. Just to have a look.
Even if there's just fucking
shine a torch in.
Yeah.
Have a look. Oh, God, there's a skeleton.
Yeah. If there's a smell or a skeleton, then bang, right.
No, it depends how long these potential bodies have been in there.
She was right with the first part, unless she already had her suspicions there already.
Wait a minute.
Right.
Well, it's funny actually because we've got an episode coming up in the future where we're going to be looking into dreams and dream analysis.
Yes.
So we'll let you know a bit more when that comes up.
Yeah, we'll bring that question.
I'm dead interested in this because I very rarely remember my dreams. I occasionally do, and like when I do the vivid, but it's very rare, and I believe that I still am dreaming. I just don't remember. I'm not retaining it.
From what what I've looked into it, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, and most of your dream is gone. So if you wanted to remember it,
you need to get it written down quick.
Write it down, yeah.
No, once I'm up, I'm up and awake.
Yeah.
Anyway, I found this. Oh God, hiccuping. Hiccup. Anyway, I've got this story here.
Yeah.
Police responding to a report of a dead body.
Oh, it's
on
not
an
behind
overpass.
a wall, is it?
No, it wasn't behind a wall. It was on an overpass.
Oh, right, okay.
It was on the Interstate 83. Found, reports came in. When they went out to investigate, it turned out to be a 6-foot sex doll.
Oh, so...
Who keeps dumping the sex dolls?
Someone have an argument with a sex doll?
I know, leave her at the side of the road, kicked her to the curb.
Yeah, proper.
According to the York Area Regional Police, it was a life-size sex doll. It was very. What was it? What's he saying?
Very petite.
What? He just said it was a sex doll. He didn't know how it got there. And it was just one of them, but it was like the fact that they had several reports coming in, obviously saying that it was a dead body.
Was it clothed or not? If it weren't clothed, then I think a lot more people would have been reporting it.
I don't know.
And why would you throw a sex doll on the bloody motorway?
Well, this is the thing. It's like,
probably fell out of someone's, caravan or whatever.
Inflated out of the caravan.
Yeah, well, no, that's hard now, aren't it? You got like $6,000 for a fucking doll or something like that. Now.
I really don't know.
Realistic one.
This is the thing, though, because he's not saying that it was a realistic one. He's saying it was a life size. Yeah, so he's not saying it was blow up or inflatable. Yeah. So it could have been. It could have genuinely been one of these like high end.
Yeah. I would have thought so. That's
like I say. They responded about 8 p.m. on March 23rd to Dewdrop Road on I-83.
Trucker threw it out.
Maybe. You see, you know what? Actually, there's a big thing about people putting sex dolls in the car so they can drive the carpool lanes.
Oh yeah, I never thought about that. Yeah,
so maybe it was somebody who's been using it, because there's actually, because I think we talked about this before as well, because in the UK it's legal to own a taxi, like a black cab. Yeah, and if you drive a black cab, there's a couple of celebrities who own them.
That's true.
Stephen Fry owns a black cab, and also Noel Edmonds.
Yes, yeah.
And Noel Edmonds actually came out on a number of occasions and said he has a black cab, but he's sick of getting flagged down, right? And it's like, well, don't get a fucking black cab then,
exactly.
Right? So to get around it, he got himself like a mannequin, or a sex.
In the back.
You could argue you call it a sex doll if you want.
Oh yeah, they've been using that.
But he's got himself a mannequin and he puts it in the back, and it basically suggests that he's got a passenger so they don't flag him. Yeah,
fair enough.
I always thought that you needed to have your yellow light on.
That's what I was.
If your yellow light's on, you've got a fare. Don't flag it, or it means it's one or the other, innit? But don't get that many cabs.
No, to be honest, I haven't had one for years.
Could it have been that somebody was breaking the law in that respect, and then thought they got sussed and dumped it at the side of the road?
Yeah, gone out of that area and gone, well, I don't need you no more. Boom.
Not even that, just basically shit themselves and thought, I'm going to get in trouble here.
You know what? No,
the police clocked me with this doll in the car.
I actually think it fell off the back of probably a wagon.
What, a sex doll wagon?
Yeah, well, yeah, you
making
need to travel
deliveries.
Well, it could have been delivery services. A lot more delivery services.
It'd be in a box.
Yeah,
I'd imagine.
Well, he might have used it and go, oh, fuck that, I'll leave that. What's that in that box?
Oh, come on.
Well, you don't know. Well, there are a couple of weird people out there. You know,
it's true. True that. So, yeah, anything else
in
the world?
I've got another hole in the wall.
It wasn't Sophia, was it?
Oh no,
the AI sex robot.
Oh yeah, that's where she went. She went legging it.
Hello,
can't she dance
Mr.
now?
Taylor. She can sing, dance, draw. She can do all sorts.
She can also fall over and not work no more.
Yeah, she compo.
Yeah,
fucking fell over claims. Go on, what you saying?
Well, I found another woman who's moved into a new home and found another hole in her wall. It's a door, though.
Why? Why are you finding holes in walls?
I don't know. Right near her front door, she's got it's a really small door. You can just put your arm in there. But right round it, its frame was like a lot bigger.
Is a car alarm going off somewhere? I apologise if that's being picked up on the mics, but I can hear it and it's doing me head in. Go on. What are you saying?
So, I think, they didn't know what this hole was because she was like she tried shoving clothes down it.
Why would you shove clothes down it?
And they don't even know where it goes to either. So they've been thinking of ideas of.
I'd get one of those like cameras on a fucking stick and just feed it down just to see where it goes. Because it's a suspicious hole in your property.
Well, yeah, and not only that, it's a door.
What do you mean? There's a door?
It's got a fucking door there.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's not just like a hole. So some suggestions were, could it be, you're sweeping up, bang, throw all the fucking dust in there.
Lazy bastards.
Lazy bastards. Or like someone suggested putting milk down there. Milk
Why?
bottles? I don't know, because no one knows where it ends up.
Well, in that
Gone that
logic, you
deep.
can put anything down it and be like, throw a dog down there, see what happens. It's like, what's the point in... Don't see why you'd put clothes down there or milk or anything. I'd get a camera down there and see what's down there. At the end of the day, the more shit you shove down there, the less likely are finding out what is actually in there. They could be anything. They could be something like really like, something stashed or, money from a bank robbery or, I don't know, an old painting or something.
Well,
you never know.
Someone else has suggested they've got one.
Okay, and what do they do? What do they use theirs for?
Shoveling shit down.
So they basically just sweep hot stuff down the hole.
Shit down there. But why do you need a bloody door?
I'll be honest, I lived in my last flat. I had wooden floorboards in the living room, and there was a little one floorboard which was like cut, and you could literally pull it out, and there was like a little hole in the ground, under the floorboards. And I used to do that. I'd sweep up to that point and then just sweep it down the hole.
Well, if you've got the hole, you might as well use it.
You got the hole, use it. So I found this story. Well, we'll find out if we find any more out about what this mystery hole is. Top news. We'll let you know. I found this story about a Marine veteran, right, who's saying he's condemning marijuana and the smoking of it after he said he had a toe cup in Kentucky and woke up in Kenya.
In Kenya?
Yeah. Say, what fucking weed's he smoking? Get me some of that shit.
I think that's more than fucking weed, mate.
He says, so the article says, weed, ganja, flower, Mary Jane, the devil's lettuce.
The devil's lettuce, I like that.
I love that. I've never heard the devil's lettuce, also known as numerous other names. On Wednesday, New York Governor Andrew Cuomo, I can't pronounce it, acknowledged the plant's advantages, but also says that he condemns it. Obviously, cannabis fans rejoined. What's this? Hang on, right. So what's actually happening here? Yeah,
but I bet he likes a good drink.
So he says it. So it says Kelly tweeted, "Smoking weed, aka grass, is not a good idea. I've tried it back in the day, and it was worse than anything I've ever happened to me during my life. I toked up with some buddies in Kentucky and woke up 4 days later in Kenya and no idea what happened to me. Don't do drugs, kids."
Damn right.
It's like, I'm not being funny, but he did something a bit more than...
Yeah, definitely. There's
no way that's just the effects of cannabis.
No, he's had something's been put on there, I think. He's got to have had something else, because, nah, it's too strong.
Nah, there's no way on earth. If you've ever lost 4 days because you smoked a joint.
How did he travel there? What did he?
I know, yeah. It's like I just happened to have my passport with me and all the rest of it. You're talking bollocks, right? Yeah, that in fact, A, B, C, D, and E, you're talking bollocks. Yeah, I don't think that happened. You're lying. You're lying.
You've had a drink and you've thought about...
No, do you know what? If someone said I got that pissed that I fucking had a few beers in Kenya and in Kentucky and woke up in Kenya, I'd believe that. Yeah. But not a chance. So, I don't. But Greg Kelly, he reckons it. Greg Kelly, you're an absolute lightweight, sir.
Yeah.
He also tweeted, just went to a McDonald's and there was no McFish on the menu.
No McFish?
It's been permanently taken off, apparently. What the fuck's a McFish? Fillet of fish?
Yeah, I think that's what we call it. Yeah.
There you go. Anyway.
Fish.
I'm bringing you
just put Mick in front of everything, don't you?
Mick in.
Yeah.
Mick Nuggets.
Yeah,
so, what's this story here? Oh, God, yeah, did you see this? A man returned from a shopping trip, right? So he's drove to his, the shops.
Yeah.
Location, wherever, right, done his shopping.
Yeah.
When he returned back to his car, yeah, he found that his car was filled with 15,000 bees.
What the hell?
Like, how?
Within 15 minutes?
God knows how long it was, but like a man went shopping in New Mexico and came back to find his car was filled with thousands and thousands of bees. He called 911, as anyone would. What do you do in that situation? It's like, so, he's called the authorities. Fortunately for him, the firefighters were local who responded to help him. And
lucky they ain't killer bees.
And one of them also happened to be a beekeeper.
Stroke of luck there.
Isn't it just, the car's a piece of shit anyway, and no wonder it probably had
yeah.
Do you know what probably happened? It probably had a beehive in the car, under the car, or something.
Yeah, and they've started to spread out.
Started to hatch or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
knows.
Yeah, it's possible.
The man's car was overrun with a swarm of bees after he left. They're saying it was because he left the window open.
No.
When he was at the Albert's grocery store on Sunday.
Within 15 minutes, not a goddamn
You go
chance.
to the shop and then you come back and then it's like, fuck off, I don't believe that.
Nah, there's something a bit stinky
there was definitely
there.
something going on in his car. I mean, like I say, you want to see the car's absolute shit up. Firefighters learned that the owner of the car returned from his shopping, placed groceries in his vehicle and then started to drive off before noticing the swarm on his back seat.
What the fuck?
Well, he's a lucky guy then.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? He could have been allergic.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true, man. My uncle he gets one sting, bang.
Well, apparently, yeah, the security guard was stung, and it's possible a few other people might have had an encounter, but no major injuries were reported.
Good.
Just a bee car.
Just a bee car.
It's like those guys who do like
Must be a
those
transformer,
beards of
doesn't it?
bees, you know, big beards of bees and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like it's like God,
Or all over your body, and it's like,
not a chance.
Nah.
So I've got one more story before we move on.
Yeah,
to NASA news. Have you not got anything else to talk about?
No, go for it.
Well, apparently, I'd say, well, they're saying it's confirmed in Scientific America.
Yeah.
But confirmed we live in a simulation.
Confirmed.
I don't think you'll ever confirm it, but obviously it's been popularised by people like Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Yeah.
Obviously, Elon Musk said it.
Yes.
Or the Techno King.
Yes.
As we all know him.
Oh yeah.
But basically, they're saying obviously it's been added to now because who was it who actually came up with it first? Was it Nick Bronston? What was it?
Bromwich, was it?
I can't remember. Nick Bostrom.
Bostrom.
Yeah. So he's saying that he first kind of came up with a theory, and theorized that we could have been living in a simulation, but new research on it has basically said that we're basically saying it could be 50-50.
Yeah, I'm on the 50-50.
Well, 50-50 is not confirmed, is it?
Exactly.
50-50s could be, couldn't be, and we could have said that anyway.
So saying one thing in one sentence and then totally contradicting themselves in the second sentence.
Well,
unless he was the writer of the report,
he didn't put parallel universe confirmed ? It was statement confirmed with just about anyway. Claims have basically said that that we could be potentially living in a fucking simulation.
Yeah, there is potential. There definitely is potential. I've been looking at some scientists a while ago who were proper on the how far they've been looking at the structure and mathematics of it, and that there is that I'd say 50-50. I have to say that.
Well, think about it this way, right? Yeah, right. If you want to go down the whole creation route, and say we were created by a god, right? Well, this still plays into that, really, doesn't it?
True.
Because if we're in a simulation, then ultimately there must have been some sort of designer or creator.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, does it really matter?
To be honest, No,
It's not making
you're
my
gonna
life
find
any
out at
bloody
the end,
more
aren't you?
easier, is it? If you know what, if there is some bloody simulation, can you turn it on to good, please?
Yeah,
because it's been set on shite for a long time. Yeah, wouldn't mind a bit of just knock it up a notch.
Just give us a little piece over here a bit.
Yeah, just a bit of fucking
switch percent or two.
Switch it around a bit.
Yeah,
you might want to.
Yeah, you never know what would happen.
Well,
you know what I mean?
maybe that's what the whole thing is. Do you know what I mean? It's like seeing how we respond in different situations, and it's like,
well, yeah, but then
they're having a pandemic, but we'll hit them with a couple of tornadoes and tsunamis as well while they're at it. Wait, is that volcano going off? Get it on. Yeah, we need some fires in Australia. It's like, I don't get why you'd. What does all this kind of accomplish in terms of testing, or if we were in a simulation? What's the
well, everyone's on.
What's the data that they're getting out of it?
Well, social science, bang.
Yeah, but social science is one thing, but I mean, it's on this scale. It's like
consider it this way, as if we were ants and they were observing us.
Yeah, but on right, okay, yeah. So like
test
to an ant, yeah. I have say if I create a massive big ant colony and I've got an ant farm, I can see everything going on in my ant farm, and I'm the architect. Yeah. To them, they just see their life in an ant farm. Yeah, right.
Yeah,
and
of course.
Unaware that they're being observed and all the rest of it. Yeah, right. And I understand that could be going on a bigger scale, but I just don't see the point. Do you know what I mean? It's like, because like most kids who own an ant farm, or sea monkeys, or gerbils, or goldfish, they get bored very, very quickly.
Yeah, but they will go back to it time after time and look at it again, looking at the same.
They'll go, oh shit, 5 of them are dead. Oh shit, I best start looking after these a little bit more. And then they forget again.
It depends who's the thinker and who's not. You know what
exactly.
I mean?
It depends. You might have a real. Well, we obviously haven't got a really caring creator. I think if we do have a creator, he is that type who keeps fucking forgetting that he's made us.
Yeah.
And then he'll go find us in a drawer every now and again and go, oh yeah, I remember when they made that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
this is why
I should spruce it up a bit because I was really good when I made it. And then he'll put it back in the drawer and forget about it. So
we passed all that. We're in hell as it is. That's what it is. We're in hell. Yeah.
Who knows? Well, anyway, I think like it's again, if you want to argue, it's 50-50, but could be.
There's no definite proof on each side, and the only way you're going to find out is if someone goes and comes back and says, "Yeah, you know what? It was a computer simulating."
I mean, if these quantum computers actually are as smart as the they might be able to tell us.
Well, funny enough, actually, I was looking at a report the other week, and it was saying that we're in a matrix.
Well, there you go then.
That's what one of them was saying, and it was like, "Whoa, what?"
Right.
The
right. Well, that just makes me think: how do we hack it and manipulate the system? Yeah.
Well,
I don't care if we're in a matrix or not, because what I think we want more is to know that we're in a matrix, and if we knew we were in a matrix, it's then work out how can we manipulate the system. That's the only difference. It's the only way. The only thing that'd be a benefit to knowing we were in a matrix, knowing that we could change it, or find a way to change it for our benefit, and make things a bit nicer and a bit better. Yeah. Right, and not the whims of some fucking creator or
but
madman.
Then that could destroy the social science of it.
Don't care. Don't care.
But they don't care. Yeah, but we don't care about the ants when we test the ants.
It's a Kobayashi Maru. Yeah, right. It's like you're putting us in an unwinnable situation. The only way to win is to change the parameters in your favour.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, and to be honest, right, who's going to come down and tell me I've done a bad thing? The creator. Let him.
Well, no, but they ain't going. They want.
Who ain't?
Whoever the creator is would want you to do what you was going to do.
But also, if there is a creator, they gave us free will, and what I want to do is break their program.
Fine.
Right. So therefore, I win.
Yeah, but well,
yeah, exactly.
Well,
so,
no,
moving on.
No one yeah. Okay.
No, it's true because that's the first. Right, okay. So if it was proven 100% that we were in a matrix, the first thing we'd want to do is get our best hacking people on it.
Yeah.
How do we break this system?
Yeah.
Yeah? Because we want to know what we're being...
tested.
Well, are we physically here, or are we like in the Matrix, the movie, elsewhere, and having our minds projected?
Yeah,
what are they doing with our bodies?
Yeah.
Why are we?
Is our bodies these?
Why are we being sheltered or shielded from whatever? Why are we? There's too many questions. We want to break that. We'd break that wall down. We want to know what the hell's going on.
You know what? Ultimately, I don't think we're ever going to fucking find out. So it's one of them that, you know,
but the thing
we'll
is,
find out when we
I'm
meet
saying.
our creator.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like if we could definitively prove one way or another that it is a simulation or not, then...
Yeah, but do you need to find that?
No, but with what you're missing is we'll have a direction. Do you know what I mean? If we found out, yes, it is, then then the next step is how do we break that? How do we manipulate it? How do we create a new system that's better for us than the one we've already got?
Why would you need a direction? Why can't you just be...
Because you can't. You
don't necessarily need a direction.
Of course you do, because it's rather you are or you aren't.
So if I throw you in the desert...
No.
Yeah.
No. What you're saying is you're totally confusing the situation, because what I'm telling you is that if at the moment we don't know one way or the other, there's no point going, right, we're going to throw everything at breaking this code because we don't know if we are or not. It could be futile waste of our time. But if we knew definitively that it was 100% we are in a simulation,
then we'll put money into it.
We've got a direction we can go towards then, because we're not, and it's not a direction that's unjustified, because we've proven step one, we're in a simulation. Step two, well, where do we go from here? We've got a path. It's nothing to do with getting dropped in a desert or anything, really.
Well, yeah. Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Okay, yeah.
Anyway, he's got some science news.
Yeah.
Got some NASA news.
Oh, yeah, always.
Oh, sorry, I'm a bit... got me a bit uptight, that, then. You know what I mean? Because, like I say, what pisses me off about that whole simulation thing is that why is it so shit? Why do bad things happen? And it's the same argument I have with religion. Yeah. Because if there was a God, then if there was a creator, then why? And people will always ask why bad things happen to good people and vice versa.
But a lot of people use that for the...
Then if you're in a simulation, exactly the same questions crop up. It's like, well, why are we being run in a simulation that's got flaws, that's not providing for everybody on the planet?
I think a lot of people will probably, to be honest, I think a lot of people will go off their heads and try and get out the simulation.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Which, yeah.
Yeah, but you want to get out. I mean, you'd want to try and...
But still question...
Well, we're exploring, aren't we? We're exploring sort of people. We want to get out of... Well, look, we're on planet Earth and we wanted to get out.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And we have. Yeah, so makes sense to me. Anyway, talking about getting out and space and stuff, you know Elon Musk set up his satellite Starlink.
Oh, yeah.
Trying to provide internet worldwide to people who can't necessarily get it, stuff like that.
It's needed.
Well, it is needed, but another company, a British company, UK company, called OneWeb, is starting up a satellite. Well, they're a satellite company, and they're going ahead with a competing head-to-head with SpaceX to provide global space broadband.
He's going to get a bit more busier up there now.
Have we got any room up in space and around?
We need to get
atmosphere?
rid of half the fucking junk that's up there, because not only that, if we spend billions of pounds of putting these systems up, it's with the amount of crap that's out there, and it only takes a chocolate chip to fucking destroy.
They're sending 36 OneWeb satellites up on a Soyuz 2 1B.
Well, if that's the first and last load, then I'd say, oh, great.
No, I doubt it'll be, because how many did Elon put up in his first
60 one? In the first one, wasn't it?
So obviously they're blasting 36 off, but I think Elon's put a couple of hundred up at the moment.
Yeah.
So this is basically the British-owned satellite broadband operator, which was rescued from bankruptcy by the UK government in November, wants to beam internet down to households and businesses across the world from satellites.
Well, go for it.
So
we could do with the industry, to be honest.
They've put around, obviously, SpaceX has put around 1,300 satellites up at the moment, and plans to launch 42,000 by mid-2027. So you've got 42,000 SpaceX satellites, then you've got however many, OneWeb satellites, plus all the other communication satellites.
Plus all the shit that's out there.
Oh, man, we're just turning into a big globe rubbish dump.
Well, you know what? We are. Look at our sea. Look at our land. Look at our fucking air. It's all going to shit, you know what I mean? And we're the ones who need to clean it up.
Well, they've got plans. OneWeb have got plans to launch 648 satellites up into orbit.
That's not too bad.
So, but basically by on March 25th, it took up to 146.
See, it's still a lot. I mean, how many kinds of satellites do we need up there? We only really need one global one, a good one that actually does everything.
No, but they're competing. That's what I mean. It's like who gets to put that one satellite up there? That's the thing. Wow. It's like no one's gonna, not everyone's going to be happy in that situation, but it's like with us, we can turn around and go, well, this is the UK effort, and they go, well, China's having a go. And it's we end up with so much crap in space. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, and then it's going to come down. And not only that, I mean, you're talking like some of these have got radioactive compounds in there. You know what I mean? And you don't want it in your back garden, do you?
Well, it's funny, actually, because SpaceX rockets, apparently debris been found in Washington State after it streaked into the night sky. Discovery of debris comes after the stunning display of over the Pacific Northwest, when obviously the rocket was in stages of burning up. But that's debris. Where was it? In Texas, where the launch is it?
Yeah.
And it's ended up being found of debris and stuff, but in the
30th of March, they actually did the fourth test of the SN1.
We shouldn't worry about these things falling back down to Earth, should we? I mean, if they're in orbit, then they're there, aren't they? And they can't really be... there's no danger of them kind of falling back down to Earth, is there?
To a certain degree, it depends, and it depends on the burn-up as well. Depends on material as well.
No, I mean, like, if you throw it up into orbit, then it should be in a geo sort of lock, really, shouldn't it?
Yeah.
So I'd assume that once it's up there, the chances of it plummeting back down to Earth and, causing a disaster, hitting a motorway or a house or anything like that would be pretty slim. Pretty
slim, but like we were just talking a minute
it's
ago
the blast-offs,
about, there's a lot around, you know what I mean? There's a lot of junk out there, and any little bit could actually do a lot of damage and move the actual satellite into bad orbit.
True.
And this was their fourth attempt over Texas, and it failed again, which it gets me how they did it. They did it in thick fog,
right?
Which surprises me. Why aren't you doing it on a clearer day? You know what I mean?
Because you think don't you? You go, we're going to try and blast off on Tuesday, and then Tuesday comes around and it's thick fog. Do you just cancel it, or do you crack on and
because you want it done in the way that they do it at the moment is clear skies, stuff like that. So there shouldn't anything be going wrong. But on this one, they seem to have done it in thick fog, and I wouldn't have done that. I would have carried on, especially with being the fourth one, and the landing fucked up again. Which, like I said, is not a bad thing because we need to get rid of all these errors now before we actually do send up.
Well, because we've got another manned space flight in, is it the 26th of this month, where there's going to be sending up another Dragon crew.
Yeah.
And
that's right.
Yeah, I mean, if they're getting problems, then they need to get these sorted. But
get them out, get them squashed
before
now.
You put any lives in danger. But I mean,
it's a lot of money going up in smoke as well.
Well, yeah, especially if they're blowing stuff up for the fun of it at the minute.
Yeah. Which it seems to be.
Have you seen this story of a UFO sighting?
No.
Moon-sized spacecraft seen exiting the sun.
Yes, I have.
This is apparently conspiracy theorists are saying.
Well,
Why is it always conspiracy theories?
Exactly. I was thinking, why is it? It's not a theory. It's a moon-sized fucking planet size that's coming out of it.
Well, by analysing images of the sun, image sight, what are they called? HalioView.
Yeah.
Alien hunters believe that they've spotted a huge UFO near the sun, what appears to be like a solar flare or look to be like a solar flare, is actually a UFO, according to self-proclaimed UFO expert.
Yeah, because you look at its entrance out, and I couldn't help looking at the streaks from the left, right, up and down. It's like a cross.
It's Scott C. Waring again.
Eh?
Scott Waring
again.
He's always claiming stuff, isn't he? Do you know what? I'm gonna have to Google this guy. Every time I'm bloody doing a story, he's bloody there going, and he's self-proclaimed UFO expert. Yeah.
Well,
so, but
I don't know the guy.
Scott's turned around and said, no, it's definitely proof, 100%, that extraterrestrials are residing in our sun.
Well, there's no 100% because it could be something else we don't even consider or even know about yet.
Well, he said, I was watching HelioView and noticed an explosion. When I made a close-up of the area, I saw a black object shooting out from and exploding across the area for about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Although the video is fast, the time it took is long. Also, the explosion there was about 3 rippled waves opposite the UFO, and the UFO area was the only place with such waves. So, it's trying to say that it sort of burst out, left a bit of a plasma ripple.
To be honest, it's definitely...
But a solar flare would do exactly the same thing.
Not in that way, no. No, I'd disagree on that.
Well, solar flares are common. I mean, they do kind of expel...
Oh, yeah.
Thingy. I mean, it's like that could create a ripple. I mean, are you that much... Are you an expert enough to say that it doesn't happen?
I'd say yeah, because I've looked at these objects that have been around the sun and stuff like that. I mean, there's planet size, like Jupiter size kind of planets going up to near the sun, getting plasma, and then fucking off. I mean, that's not normal. That is not normal, and this kind of it's not the first time that these balls have left the sun and also gone in to the sun as well. So yeah, I mean, to me, it's strange. I wouldn't say it was plasma. I would say it was something coming out of it, to be honest. But what it is, I could not tell you, mate.
Well, he says there's an astronomer called Chris Impley, from the University of Arizona, who said most UFOs that are seen by, the ISS or by so-called alien hunters. UFO hunters or whatever, says that they're pretty mundane. It's just normal stuff that you wouldn't get excited about. He says over half can be attributed to meteorites and fireballs.
What, coming out of it?
No, just generally.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But
just shooting across the sky. When you're seeing like an anomaly or whatever. He says over half of them can be attributed to meteorites, fireballs, and even the planet Venus.
Totally.
Yeah. Such bright objects are familiar to astronomers, but are often not recognised by members of the public.
Yeah, true.
So when you see something strange that you've never seen before shooting across the sky, you automatically do think maybe it's a UFO.
Yeah, but this is different. This was coming out of the object and the...
but that's a natural...
cross.
Again, there is... I mean, I'm not saying it is or isn't, but there are naturally occurring things
totally.
that called solar flares that happen where, a coronal mass ejection, which is a burst of energy and a burst of plasma or a burst of, I can only assume liquid magma is being expelled from that planet, from the sun. Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
And if it's powerful enough to shoot it off the surface into space so much that there's it's visible, then a moonshot-sized blast isn't out the realms from me, I'd have to say.
Yeah, but it's the after effects that of the image. If you that is not normal to the throwing of plasma out, and also it is near enough a perfectly circle object.
Okay.
Now, you if you were going to throw plasma out, it creates a wave and then it throws out. It's like more like a wave. Yeah, but that's what
he said. He said that there was like ripples, like a wave.
There was a cross-side like ripples, but it still doesn't explain the object.
No, what I think you're meaning when you say a wave, it's like an arc of energy, isn't it? Like
oh no, on this
but
this
that,
wave.
Again, it could just be the fact that your vantage point, if you like.
Get two rulers, put them across from each other like a cross. And it looked like that after it come out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it could be. Could be. I mean, we've looked at several UFO cases where they've said, like, there's been objects around the sun seemingly charging up, if you like, or drawing power.
Yeah, and these are massive. So it's not like little things. These are like massive planetary, big stuff. So you can actually get a good kind of image of it.
That Scott's got a lot to answer for. Anyway, have you got any more NASA news or anything that you want to talk about before we wrap up?
Yeah, I got one more. I got NASA has found a mystery rumble from inside of Mars.
Inside of Mars?
Yeah, thanks to Insignia.
Rumbling in the Bronx.
The new rover. It's worked out that...
So did they record it then? Because it's got audio on the rover, hasn't it? So did they get clear sort of audio of this rumble? Or?
Must have been one of the sensors that could have been, put in the ground. But apparently they believe... The only explanation is that it's a sudden release of energy, they think, but it's inside.
Some Martians.
Yeah, it's like, it's Martians on the move. They're on the march, mate. They're on the march.
We're on a march.
Yeah, they're coming for the moon and us.
Coming over here, sending rovers.
We'll kick their ass.
Taking our jobs.
Yeah, we'll send the robots out. Sort them out.
Yeah, we'll send Sophia.
She'll speak to you. Yeah.
She'll sing at you.
Yeah, she can be our diplomatic...
Good point, actually. Yeah, that's a really good reason why we could have a Sophia, because obviously, like, you want to send first contact, you can send Sophia out to be a mediator.
If they eat out, we don't care.
Exactly.
Yeah,
no one armed. It's like, oh, they just killed Sophia.
Oh well,
damn, build another one.
Bang.
Right. So, go on. What was you saying?
Yeah, so they don't know what it is. They really it's the only suggestion that they've really got, but they're now going to have to investigate even more now.
Fair
so
enough.
It gives them something more to do. You know what I mean? And hopefully it will give us a few answers to.
We'll keep looking into that and see if there's anything else comes up. But like definitely. I say, it's one of them where it's like, I don't know. Could be a number of things at this point.
It could be. I mean, we're having the rumbles in our planet, so why can't Mars?
Yep.
And is it connected?
No, because there's no major drilling operations going on Mars.
Yeah, that's true. Well, we don't know that.
Well, that's true again, yeah. It's fucking drilling all over the place.
Yeah.
That's it for the show. Hope we've entertained you, got you angry, got you motivated.
Emotional.
Anyway, we've gained some sort of emotional response from you.
Yeah, hopefully happiness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like
if
that
not,
one.
Look at the person next to you, give them a smile.
And if not, give them a slap.
Yeah. But I'm not standing by that one.
So, yeah, I don't want to be like Gaz told me to do it.
Yeah.
If you've got any questions, queries, or comments, you know what to do. Get in touch with us at neverstraightanswer@gmail.com. NASA_never on Twitter. Never Straight Answer on Instagram. We're available on all podcast platforms, wherever you get your podcasts. Make sure you subscribe and never miss a trick. We've got some absolute epic guests coming up over the next couple of weeks.
Oh, yeah.
Plus, all the great
usual stuff
that you'd expect.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you've got, like, say, if you want to get in touch, you know what to do.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it for us this week.
It is.
We'll be back with you next week.
We will.
With another thrilling episode.
Awesome.
And so make sure you tune in for that.
Oh, yeah.
Other than that, we're going to go and relax and have a cup of tea.
Oh, yeah. I need a coffee.
I need a
coffee,
brew.
yeah.
No,
Can
so-
someone buy me a coffee? I need a coffee.
Go to Buy Me Coffee at NASA Pod or Patreon
Yes.
and
yes.
help us out, support. Go to the website, buy some merch.
Oh,
and
Good merch, man.
you know we love you. And anyone who's got to this point in the show, we salute you. You're an absolute legend.
Indeed,
So,
you are a champion among people.
all right.
There you go.
Okay, fucking well done.
Yeah.
Hey,
Hey,
right,
hey.
well, we've beat around the bush way too long. We're going to
mate.
call it a night. I've been Gaz.
I've been Taylor.
This has been the Never a Straight Answer podcast. We'll catch you next time. Peace.
Out.